Hello, all. I messed up on Rumble. It is fixed now. Some people will be filtering over. Got button happy. I was clicking, moving something, and it clicked the wrong thing. So, all right. Hopefully, Rumble folks will catch up quickly. Hopefully, they will catch up quickly. Hello, Wade, Freya, Snow Wolf, Charlie. Rumble is back up and running. It is a new one. Please, folks, if you're on Rumble or in chat, let people know so I don't have to answer it over and over and over and over again till I beat my head upon a brick wall. What is the chance of rate in the middle of a quarter? Middle of a quarter, middle of a day, middle of the night. All of it is open season. Hello, Jay and Amy. Hello, Art Golding. Hello, Jay Clark. Hello, Gene. Galaxy Amenity. Good to see you in the house. If you're like me and you're getting to that age where your body just starts to feel sluggish or off all the time, then listen up. Because recently I wasn't feeling great, decided to call my friend Dr. Josh for some help. Told him what was going on. His response kind of shocked me. He said, you're showing all the telltale signs of a clogged liver. You probably already heard about how important your liver is for detoxification, digestion, and energy levels. Here's the thing. Most people have no idea how clogged or overburdened their liver actually is. Eating processed food, drink, and even stress, these things can all take a toll, leaving your liver clogged. It's important not to let this go unchecked because your liver is the most important organ in your body, being responsible for the proper function of nearly every system in your body, from digestion to metabolism to detoxification. Essentially, a healthy liver equals a healthy you. That's why Dr. Josh, practicing doctor with over 25 years of medical expertise, formulated a special liver supplement called Ultra Liver that acts like a deep cleanse for your entire body. With over 500,000 bottles sold, thousands of five-star reviews, happy customers, and patients. So when I'd heard enough, giving it a try, got on the, well, didn't really get on the phone, got on the internet, got some bottles. Ultra Liver does seem to be making a very solid difference. I have a report that it's really cut into things like chronic fatigue, bloating, skin issues, saying hello to renewed energy, clear thinking, a body that's operating much closer to that 100% again. Powerful stuff. Amazed how much better you feel quickly. Then again, you're not going to get results like this from any random liver supplement. Dr. Josh put his 25 plus years of experience into Ultra Liver to make sure it actually does what it's supposed to. So if you're ready to unclog your liver and flush dangerous toxins and that are sapping your energy and preventing you from losing weight, just go to tryultraliver.com/MarkZ to get your hands on Ultra Liver today. By the way, it's your lucky day because Dr. Josh is running a sale where you can get up to 50% off Ultra Liver for a limited time. You can find that by going to tryultraliver.com/MarkZ. The link is below. Well, it is on Rumble and YouTube. Dares to me would be part of Nasera. Heck, just leveling the playing field would be part of it. Yeah. All right. One, Jason, I think we all are a bit frustrated. It comes and goes, along with life throwing you curves and all the things that go with it. Stan, Kuwait dinar plummeted. Well, I wouldn't say plummet, but it definitely was trending down right before they revalued. So yes, very similar percentages. I know we got to get to it. Hopefully everybody has had a chance to find us over on the Rumble side now that it is back up and working. Update on Cloudflare. Parts of it are coming back up. It's my understanding X is back up. I don't know if ChatGPT or some of the other platforms are back up yet. Oh, Kevin, now this is messed up, brother. Sometimes life sucks. My wife is fishing with her dad, and I'm home cleaning house and puppy sitting. I, I'm worried about you, man. Just kidding. That she's fishing's a good thing. Buzz Rocket. My thoughts on Mr. C's Trump not wanting another election. I don't think it's going to slow or change anything. I think Trump's far more okay with not being president than you guys think, as long as the changes are getting made, and he'll get credit for it. Starting the revolution. At Waffle House last night, she told me to rub it in because you called her Rocky the other day. My problem is I have too many, and they want it pronounced Rocky. So when I see it after being spanked like a bad puppy too many times, I know there's 3 that do the same thing with their nickname. The other 2 call it Rocky. I like this, Lily. Stress makes you believe that everything needs to happen now. Faith assures you that everything will happen at the perfect time. Trey, very much still think that is viable on the dong. I know what I keep hearing on other currencies. The only ones I feel really confident with are dinar, dong, and Indonesia as far as what I think values will be close to. May not be a full length podcast today. Voice is already off. Let's see. Not certain what you're referring to. We're finally free in America, per Anna von Reitz last night. You have to tell me what she said. Mm-hmm. I kind of have to disagree with you on that one, Dan. Dan's thoughts: the $2,000 tariff checks a step backwards for what we're waiting for. It keeps oil in the machine, just like the COVID stimulus, or it gives us a bridge to cut down on unrest during the transition. Of course, that's also what we were hopeful for with COVID. Curious about the Argentine peso. The fact that Trump, well, I don't know if I'd call it really a loan because of the way it was done, but some people call it a loan. Took their currency as collateral. Basically, we bought their currency. Doesn't make me scratch my head. Certainly, if value changed, it would be like a huge bonus. It already went up 10%. We've already made, do the math. What was that? 10%, $20 million on that deal? No, it'd be more than that. 10%. What's 10% of 20 billion, guys? 2 billion. I have no idea, Jen Ryder, who said no, not till mid 2026 for dividends. So you're asking for thoughts on something. I have no idea what you're talking about. I've seen a number of people post it. I'm guessing some guru out there told you dividends couldn't possibly happen until 2026. They also told you the day that Kuwait revalued that it couldn't happen anytime soon. They also told you 3 days before China's last revaluation that it couldn't happen for years. 3 days later, massive change. Many people think the ISO 2022 is huge, and we got a story on Vietnam on that right now. Well, today as well, thanks to Destiny with a lot of, with a couple of good articles this morning. Yeah, reminder, exactly, Charlotte. Nobody knows when, and you are going to continue to get information that is all over the place on purpose to keep us guessing at the timing, just like they did with every other revaluation in modern history. I mean, even if you go back little before modern, well, I guess it's modern. Depends on how old you are, I guess. Go back to World War II. Go back to the post World War II, the revaluation of Germany's currency, Japan's currency. They did the same thing, guys. Tim, I saw that VND ISO 22. We'll actually be sharing the receipts. So you guys, conference promotes ISO 20022 and interbank payment systems, talking about it as they are adopting it. Frank, Oliver Wyman report from August says RV. No, it doesn't say RV. All right. I'll let you guys ask Frank that question. Anywhere in it, did it say RV January 2026? No, to me, it told us that it needs to go before January 2026. Oliver Wyman Consulting Group. John, I quit looking for things like internet outage being part of a switch over to QFS. I think that's all us being overly hopeful and trying to read everything we see into being a reset. Some things just happen. And some parts of it are infrastructure for the RV to happen. So that's why some of it is important. You got to pay attention to it. News time, we already really started, guys. We've been answering questions and talking about news pretty much from the get-go once the ad stopped. So you may need to back up a little bit. There are pieces before this that will be worth listening to. Definitely worth listening to. Now, I did drop a link for those that are paying attention. And I wanted some. Oh, no, that's not what you need. You don't need that link. Give me just a second. Let me try that one again. Let's try this link. It's a Facebook one. And I'm hoping a few of you folks will get a chance to watch it in the background and give me your thoughts on it. Because I am curious. Where's Penny? She's all over the place. Diane, she comes, she goes. She's her own kitty cat. What the heck? Cloudflare outage sparked global internet chaos. That is what many of you folks are suffering from today. Don't know what the story is, whether it was just a mass use, a hack, or what's going on. But there have been a lot of outages. Don't panic. It's been coming back up. Now let's get into news. All right. Sudani, this is politics. This is politics as usual. Do not panic when you see this one. No bond update today, guys. No bond update today yet. Hopefully we will get one. I usually don't get anything fresh on bonds until midday on Tuesdays. Hopefully we will get something before tonight with Dr. J. Yeah, Penny's not a kitty cat. She's more mountain lion. She has to have a special litter box where she actually fits because she's so big. Things over 3 feet long. Otherwise, doesn't fit. Now let's get to it. Sudani's out of the equation. This is according to coordination framework. This is all political positioning and jockeying, guys. Now just follow the stories. How many of them can be true? Because it's all political rhetoric right now. Just like when we're seeing politics in the U.S., just like the politics back and forth from the Republicans and Democrats over the budget, continuing resolutions. It's going to happen. It's not going to happen. They're not going to get what they want. Half of them end up getting what they want, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Stay calm. Actually, I had somebody reach out earlier, and we were messaging back and forth about the news and watching it, Jim, buddy. And I was like, you almost need to watch the news 2 days in delay or 3 days in delay right now because of the need to filter through it. What we're going to find out to be accurate, what we're going to find out not to be. Sudani's out of the equation. Coordination framework announces the largest block and closes the door to the second term, supposedly. Then we turn around and the Al Nazar Coalition denies the framework's agreement on a body's candidacy. So it's all the back and forth we always see. Sudani, the Reconstruction Coalition, which he is in charge of, well, close enough. It's part of the framework, and the second term is not a personal ambition. He's like, I don't care. We're still rebuilding Iraq. I run the coordination framework. We're getting all this done, just like we did in the last one. Make me the prime minister. Don't. I still got a job. I'm still working. We're still making all the projects happen. So, knock yourself out. Meanwhile, he enjoys the overwhelming support of the Iraqi people, percentage-wise, like dominating completely. So you're just going to see these stories. Do not let them affect your thinking. It is politics as usual in any country. Soudani does not rule out a second term and complains the election law caused a waste of votes. This is where he's just talking about the way their current setup is and how the different frameworks or the different political blocks try to change all the laws after. He's just putting it out there for the Iraqi people. Smart politics. So just grain of sand when you read anything or any of these articles in the coming days or week or so as they straighten out who is which block is going to be running what. Normal politics. Now let's go out to Vietnam. The conference promotes ISO, interbank payment systems. State Bank of Vietnam is hosting a 2-day conference in Hanoi, strengthening the adoption of the standards in the interbank electric payment system as part of the ADB funded technical assistance project on promoting inclusive finance. We'll be using blockchain to watch, manage, move. This one, I do think I am becoming more and more convinced is important as we have watched this roll out. Doesn't mean we have to have the official announcement. It's just that technology that's being put into play. Vietnam on board, still under huge pressure internationally to increase the value of their currency to balance trade. Fun stuff coming out. Let me take off the news banner. Hey, you're going to end up with a short one today, guys. Not certain you're getting a birthday song. Republican senators urge Fed to revise Basel III endgame proposal and review capital requirements. For the first time in some years. Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong article. I was over here. All right, we'll do this one first. No worries. This is what I call the rhinos. Desperate to lower capital requirements for banks. They want to go to pre-pandemic levels when they only had to have 2% assets for the deposits. Now they're going up to like 20 some percent, and they are wigging out because they have to be more responsible. They said this is going to make money more costly because we can't just create it out of thin air. They're correct. In other words, it's going to bring back some level of responsibility to the economy, but that you see Republicans still continue to push tells me that, well, the rhinos are still very well ensconced in Republican politics, which is one of the biggest reasons I don't think the Republican Party is salvageable presently. I would love for somebody to prove me wrong. Oliver Wyman in August said 2024-2025 was set up and 2026 will be implementation phase. Think it's a smokescreen, just like Kuwait. Still plain. That makes more sense than anything I've heard out of any guru on that front. Bill, congratulations on the wife's birthday last evening. Hello, Chris in Blossburg, 60th to Patty. MHI, the 2000 dividend speculation, not until March, is because Congress would have to approve it. I see what you're referring to. In other words, when you're saying dividends, you're talking about a tariff check, etc. The economy gets going south. Politicians want to win. They're going to roll out the money. They're going to meet. They're going to do whatever it takes to get it to you. Not to say that Trump doesn't have some discretion there that he's willing to use that some other presidents haven't used. I wouldn't let that one shake me at all. Okay, me complaining about the Republican rhinos. Now to the SEC, drops crypto from the 2026 examination priorities and a major policy shift. The U.S. SEC has released the examination priorities for 2026 fiscal year, and for the first time in several years, crypto is not mentioned as a specific area of focus, meaning Gensler wanted to extremely regulate anything to do with it. Trump wants it to grow organically. Trump is pushing so that we have an alternative to the banking system. This is one of the biggest differences in your central bank digital currency or your war of resets. And this is one of those things where I keep trying to scream because many are out there, oh, he's trying to take over. No, he's part of the deep state. He continues to push for an option outside of the Western Rothschild banking system. This is something that helps keep them honest. When there is an option and you can opt out, they have less control. As I watch this, so this one is a big one in my opinion, because these same technologies are what you would use to, have what we would call a QFS. Now on to Epstein. On to Epstein. See, I'm trying to keep up with your comments, folks. Jeffrey, there have been a couple of articles. This is the most mainstream site I have seen one on, so now's when I want to share it. Read over the last few days a couple from smaller folks from, what do they call those things? Reddit posts and etc. blogs. Jeffrey Epstein infiltrated live U.S. congressional hearings. Now, when you hear about some of these and some of these back and forth, this next couple of stories, it's going to really sink in how connected he was politically. Releasing additional Epstein files to distract the public from government shutdown has backfired on the Democrats. Email evidence has revealed that Trump's political opponents utilized Epstein's blackmail services to destroy the president in real time. The latest truth bomb shows that a member of Congress was text messaging Epstein during a February 2019. He's convicted pedophile at this point. House oversight hearing in which Michael Cohen testified about Donald Trump. Democratic Virgin Island Stacey Plaskett delegate knew that Epstein had information on Michael Cohen. Trump's attorneys included with Epstein to shape the narrative of the investigation. He's opened the door to question who the other henchmen at the Trump org, Epstein message. And anyways, they were going back and forth during congressional hearings with him giving advice and suggestions, questions, how she should respond. Now we're going to bounce to this one. Larry Summers goes into hiding. Messages sought Epstein's advice on cheating with the daughter of a CCP official. He was trying to better. She had gotten her economics degree at Harvard, and she was off working in London. And he was trying to, bang the mentee. So he is working with Jeffrey Epstein. Right now, wait a minute. Was repeatedly messaging Epstein back and forth for help on this in 2018, 2019. After things are not going well for the Democrats in this release presently right now. They pushed. And now it has bitten them and not the right. It is a really, really bad week for them already, and it's only Tuesday. It was a hearing. Chris Guns and Guitars. It was during a hearing in which she was being asked questions, and she was asking questions. She wasn't voting on anything. They do the same thing for Guam and Puerto Rico, only to make them feel important, which is kind of jacked. But anyways, let's get back to it. Epstein dating advice, right? Come on. See if we can. Internet is really having some issues suddenly, guys. I've been trying to pull that back up for a while now. And then Trump's got a potential plan in the baking or in the offing and the hatching. People love it. Trump talking to Democrats about direct payment health care plans. In other words, instead of doing the Affordable Care Act like they were doing it, they will leave Obamacare out of it, or the Affordable Care Act, and they would give you a certain amount. In other words, as a individual, you would get a certain either off your taxes or in a check, most likely in a physical check or deposit that you're allowed to use that year to purchase your health insurance. Now, what they haven't specified is whether it's going to work like a HSA, like a health savings account, where if you don't get sick much, you can just have it like on a debit card and use it for health related and go directly. But it cuts out a huge middleman, meaning that people would shop insurance companies instead of just signing up for which one of the affordable care ones they wanted, not shopping. And the way it has worked, they did not have to be competitive on the rates. Under Trump's plan, it would still be buying insurance, but they would have to compete, meaning they would have to adjust rates accordingly to get the service. Because let's say you could get one plan for, I don't know, let's pick a number, $250 a month, but you have an allotment for like $500 a month. You could pocket the money and have extra money. You could have a less robust plan, save money, put it in your pocket, go spend it on something. Or you could get the more expensive one, have nothing left. So his take is, well, capitalism forced them to compete. They want your business. They need to sharpen their pencils, and figure out what they can deliver that healthcare for, which should drastically lower the cost of government, increase the services, etc. Health. Trump with that plans first. Well, hatching it. Reading a few. Frank, smart. I wish more folks would have done it. That was my plan. Military 20 years, then private world for another 10, 20 years, and 2 pensions and 2 savings and health. That was the plan. I wish more people would think about it. Yeah, Oliver Wyman, they do accounting and consulting for nations, banks, you name it. Not Nations Bank, although they probably have done something for them. Although they're Bank of America now, aren't they? Roy, yeah. Not necessarily null and void, but definitely crippled. 3 Fed judges have sealed a lot of the Epstein records. No one will get the full picture until they're released. And there are, in defense of that, there are some ongoing investigations and cases, but I think we'll get a lot more of it. And every time they release more of it, it bites another politician in the butt in a big way, or bureaucrat. I mean, Summers, anybody keeping up with the Larry Summers one? And who Larry Summers is? Anybody in here know before we start diving into it? Former U.S. Treasury Secretary. Former U.S. Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton, president of Harvard. Joseph, what about the expiration dates on the AgroZims? Joseph, I haven't explained this one in a while. Let me try to explain how it was explained to me. What we're going to find in reality, we'll find out. But this is how it explained to me. That we'll call them the elders. We'll call the money makers. Well, I don't know what you want to call them. The folks that hold the gold. Because this has taken so long, there has been a tremendous amount of interest accrued, et cetera. So there is more humanitarian money out there than was ever anticipated because of how long it's taken between, I don't know, pick one of the ones we hear about, things like Jermaine, Dubai, Rodriguez, things like that. So there is a massive, like trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars extra for humanitarian. And they needed a way, like, how do we decide who gets this? How do we decide who doesn't? And I was told that stop looking at it that way. Look at it more as your ticket to the game, as they decide to use that to get you in for humanitarians, because currency holders, 80, 90% of them are very humanitarian, mostly Christian, etc. And they will help a lot of people if the money's in their hands. So the decision was made, how do we distribute that? And the decision was made to use Zim and Zim Agros to help deliver it. So we have to look at it according to them. We have to look at it differently than we would a currency. The fundamentals are different because we're not looking for the economic fundamentals. We're looking for how many were actually printed and in circulation to use to do that. That's the way it was explained to me. I wouldn't go spend a lot of money on them, but to me, it was risk versus reward. Spent a couple $100 between Zims and Agros and got a crap load of them. That's the short of that one. Can I post the the Epstein Summers in chat? Would be glad to. Article over at the Epoch Times. And yes, it's Epoch. It's not Epic. Ask the founders, but whatever. They don't care. As long as you're reading them. I am putting the link in chat. And I've heard all kinds of different things, folks, on values. I've heard anything from 11 million to 50 million on Zim. I've heard as low as 500,000 per 1 trillion. I've heard all kinds of different things. Just, we're going to have to stay calm. We're not going to know for certain until somebody walks out after doing an exchange. There's so much disinformation rolling around, guys. You just got to stay calm. And it's purposeful. And you have to understand the reason why. Hopefully, most of you have figured it out. Reading a few of these, the 10K for the TSA handout was so fat. Did they actually get it done? I know it was looking rocky as to whether it would actually happen. Those were those that came back and worked with no interruptions, or I shouldn't say come back. Those that worked throughout the shutdown without any interruptions. Yeah, I saw that one, New Mexico gal. Per Fox News, more people are falling behind on utility bills than any other time. I keep telling you, folks, the fundamentals are broken. Trump has softened the blow, but he has not fixed it in any way. He has softened it. He has put forth safety nets and all kinds of different stuff. He started reshoring manufacturing through using tariffs. He has not fixed the very broken fundamentals. One man can't without a complete and utter reset, but he can help prepare people and put them in a better position. Just like he hasn't been able to wind back prices 20 years, 5 years, but he has taken the rate of inflation and cut it by 500%? So he has accomplished a tremendous amount. Can you imagine what it would be like if Harris or Biden would have won? You would still be running massive inflation. Your chicken would probably be $7 a pound. Your meat probably 11 or 12 for beef, for ground beef. I mean, it would have been exponentially worse. I kind of think of Trump a little bit like I do a Gorbachev. Not like Gorbachev, like a Yeltsin. Not a pleasant job to be in charge during the fall. Controlled demolition, but a very necessary job to help protect people. Can you think of how much worse things would have been during the replacement of the system in Russia? Now think about this worldwide. You replace a worldwide system. It's going to be rocky. It's not going to instantly be, rainbows and fairy dust. Reading a few. Yeah, Her Majesty, exactly. No matter how disappointed with Trump, is way better than the other options. Exactly. Yeah, Dave. Yeah, if Harris won, you'd be eating bugs. And Frank, we are that, and that's something to remember, guys. We are on the cusp. This is something we have to go through on the way out, on the way to the finish line. Shelley said prices in the UK are like Biden and Harris running things. Yeah, there's a Shelley. That's a great gut check for us, or reality check for us. It could be far worse. That's what would have happened if it would have been a Harris Biden in the White House. We would have continued, and many other countries and European countries that did continue. Yeah, I'm not disappointed in him. I just don't understand his approach sometimes. It usually makes sense days after or a couple of weeks after, but I'm definitely not disappointed. Yeah, but I'm so ready for rainbows and fairy dust. Joy, good catch. Yes, the Saudi prince is visiting Trump today here in the U.S. in the White House. You remember the Biden administration when the crown prince refused to meet with Biden, would show him he had zero respect for Joe Biden. Like most of the world had no respect for him. Hey, think about it. All right, guys, let's do this. From Ilhan Omar to Momdani to, I don't know, let's pick an Islamic leader in the United States or in Europe. They supposedly are for trans rights, or supposedly for all these. Now look at their look at their own personal. Do you think they would be going out, let's say, getting an abortion, supporting trans? No, they do that on purpose to destroy the countries. They promote it to destroy the countries. They think it's horrible. They think it is a sin against God. You should be tossed off the closest roof. But they push for it politically because they know how stupid people are, and they know it will destroy in the fight, the back and forth, the birth rates, all the other problems. The easiest way for them to destroy the countries and take them over is to vote globalist and left. It's masterful. Do you think they would ever do that in their own personal lives? Think they would support that? They don't, and they won't. It's horrible, but they'll certainly vote for it and push for it because it is their way of infiltrating and destroying Western societies. It's that more people haven't picked up on it, that they're not smart enough on the left to look at it and go, they're screwing us, and they're using our own ignorance to do it. I just don't know why more people haven't, had that duh moment. Wait a minute. I'm sort of ready, just a little scared when it happens. We all are. Lalise. JT, you got to wait for tier 4. Yeah, they're down dump today. Mary, you get it. You see it. What is the Dow doing today? Let's give it a quick update. Oh yeah, 571, big dump going. Fundamentals, guys, you can only ignore the fundamentals so long before they come back to roost. You can push, you can push, you can push. You can inflate, just like they have done using Keynesian macroeconomic theories or the Keynesians. And every single time it bites them in the ass and fundamentals comes home to roost. Every single time. You can push it, you can pull it, you can play with it, you can delay the inevitable, but it's still the inevitable. Gold sitting at 4,066, silver at 50.66. Just checking the barometer. Saw this morning that lots of Hollywood celebs that show off their homes are getting robbed. Not too smart, right? Yeah, one. All right. Here's a question for you. Who cares what the World Court thinks? I mean, at what point did you move to the world and have to worry about a World Court has to say about legalities where you live? That's just kind of like the UN or the WHO. The UN saying the WHO's got the power to do this and that. They don't represent me. I didn't vote for that. They have no authority over me. The World Court has no authority over the United States. The World Court has no authority over Britain. Now, if the European Union wants to give them authority over them, I guess they have authority, but I do not recognize them with any kind of authority over me or my life. That's why when I see a lot of people, well, the World Court says this, the World Court says that, I'm like, ask me if I care. I don't care what the World Court says. Interpol, that to me is a little different because they apply laws from those countries. If they find you guilty of, they take you to that country to be tried. They don't go try you in their own court. You get tried in the court of that country where the crime occurred. See? Exactly, Joy. You get it. That would kind of like be saying that, ooh, I got another question for you guys. That would be like saying, I don't know, another deity has, that somebody you don't worship has control over you. It'd be like me as a Christian saying that Buddha dictates what I can and can't do. That just doesn't mean, to me, that just doesn't make any sense. At all. What do you think about Trump's post on the UN Board of Peace? I don't know what he said. What did he say? I'd be curious. But hopefully he said something just like that. I don't recognize him. Cosmo Girl, have you discussed? Yes, and we will discuss it a lot more. I think it is going to bite them hard in the butt. I do not think the people are going to take that. I think we have a good way of forcing that. Already working on some options there. We'll talk about a lot in the coming weeks, months, if necessary. Do I think Shafak News and Iraq's? Yeah, I mean, just read everything and realize that they have a lot of contributors, etc. So just read every article and think it through. But yeah, I mean, there's good a source as any on that front. And any news source from the Middle East, you're going to get, well, they're Muslim this, they're that. I mean, you're going to get all kinds of crap like that anytime you read something from the Middle East. So my suggestion is just pick apart each article, take the good from it, toss the bad. This is definitely a time and period where, or a time period in history where you can't be mentally naive or accepting. You've got to do your own research. You can't trust the press. And the bias, understand the bias. When I read things from Zero Hedge, I understand it's going to have a libertarian bias. It's going to have more of a right-leaning bias. If I were to read something from Washington Post, I'm going to know that they're going to have a much more left-leaning. Doesn't mean I can't read articles from them and pick and pull pieces, parts, facts that I can verify out of them, or I can learn perhaps an interesting take or commentary on something. Yeah, Skeeter, we talked about the lack of bond news so far. I've got nothing. So far today, nothing since what, Saturday, I think? And there wasn't much then. Well, I don't know. There was a pretty good piece about the move to, they were preparing this week to move operations from, or majority of operations from Europe to Asia. And then when they came to the US, we would see our values. That's the rumor that was running around the bond over the weekend, or at least my bond sources. Dinar, dude, I trust the comic strips and left leaning rags. I'm with you. Johnny, I know the best is yet to come, period. My Bears, your Steelers. We'll see how that one goes. Nah, it's pretty good weekend. As the Steelers seem to be coalescing at just the right time of the season. Yeah, how did the Bears do? Arkansas, Nashville. Trina, I do need a break. At least there's a pool boy at your house. Her husband, he gets recruited all the time. Great guy. The Bears. Girl, Gannett, was months in Europe, so could be months in Asia. No, I do not think so. It should be much faster than that based on what they are hearing and being told that they are far more organized and prepared. Tilly Bob, no, I think still overall numbers 30-40%. Now, a lot of that is positioning when they go to these countries. It's positioning for release. It's doing the due diligence because there were in the last few years, there have been so many counterfeits that I personally would not go out and buy. Personally, would not touch an historic bond anymore. Just because majority of the ones that are going to be legit have been bought. They've already gone through know your customer. They've already gone through vetting them, the history, the wear, the making certain everything's kosher. Do Muslims like? I know some Muslims that like football. Sharon, I want to pull boy at my house. Guys, if you don't know who Redneck Rhapsody is, that is Trina from Heroes. Who funds and regulates Interpol? They get a allotment from many governments around the world. Do I feel the dong will come in at 70? I don't know the exact amount. I can do the math. I think it'll be somewhere probably 60% or so. A lot of our trees, yeah, it was more rain in the fall, Vicky, so the trees are able to hold on to the leaves longer. I haven't heard any Epstein connection rumor on Bitcoin prime time, so I could not, with any kind of confidence, answer that question. It's a ball. New pandemic, in my opinion, will visual rectilitis. It's when your nerves from your eyes get crossed with your rectum and you get a shitty outlook on life. That's funny. Patsy, I hear the NARS between the high threes and fours. I keep hearing the same thing, maybe even as high as the mid to upper fours. It's what I continue to hear as well. All right, guys, I need to call it right. I am not going to try to sing happy birthday. Voice is not up for that. And for those that are interested or curious, my voice does this pretty much every fall. Go through all the other podcasts through the last 5 years since we have started. You'll find the same thing. This is pretty normal. Exhaustion doesn't hurt either. Yeah, Booger can sing. Tom, it is good to see you, sir. Tom does a great job dissecting all the intel out there each day. If you want to follow him over at X, plus he's pretty brutally funny too. Hope you guys have a absolutely pleasant day. I'm going to call it a wrap here rather than continue to beat it up so that I have enough for this evening with Dr. J. Caprietta. Boy, I tell you, last week he brought the fire. Holy Spirit was in the house. Looking forward to seeing him this evening. Yeah, I need a rest. I really need a couple weeks of nothing, but that's not going to happen until we cross the finish line. See you guys on the other side. Actually, I'll see you tonight unless there is breaking news. Bye, guys.